The Debenham workers were in the news again this week, from customers to trade unions, right up to the Taoiseach and the Taoiseach. Words of solidarity were uttered in empathy with the plight and the injustice faced by these workers. The American philosopher and political and social activist Cornel West argues that when ordinary people wake up, elites begin to tremble in their boots. I could imagine hope being stirred up in the hearts of the Debenham workers if they were to hear Cornel West's words. We are living at a time when anger prevails. Underlining the anger about people in leading and influential roles holidaying abroad while everyone else is told to stay at home is the sense that elites live by their own rules. Powerful individuals breaching COVID-19 guidelines, while ordinary citizens make sacrifices to adhere to stringent guidelines, stirs sentiments rooted in the conviction that there is one law for the elite and another for the plebs. Elite is not necessarily a bad word. For example, elite athletes are fostered and highly respected. In fact, Aaron Sorkin, the American screenwriter who wrote the Broadway play A Few Good Men, once argued, elite is not a bad word, it's an aspirational one. The society described in Matthew's Gospel today revolved around a ruler, the king, who had a vested interest in maintaining a ruling elite who were loyal to him while at the same time preventing them from becoming too popular. The society described by Matthew describes a mass of little pyramids of influence, each headed by a major family. St. Paul, in his letter to the Romans, outlines the impact that influence can have on people's lives. While many people hold to the view that pyramid shapes is said to hold many secrets and amazing properties, one of them being a sense of wonder, the spiritual writer Richard Rohr observingly notes that most women prefer circles of sharing to pyramids and hierarchies. They prefer conversation to construction. They will usually choose nurturance and empathy over competition and climbing. They will normally choose connection over simple performance gains. If the women that Richard Rohr describes don't like pyramids and hierarchies, there are others, including many in church circles, who are committed to hierarchies. The Colombian philosopher Nicolas Gomez Davila once argued that hierarchies are celestial. In hell, all are equal. Matthew, however, in his discourse in chapter 18, is notable for its total lack of hierarchical figures. Matthew uses the parable of the ungrateful servant to illustrate the folly of appealing to hierarchy as a way of solving problems. In the parable, the appeal to hierarchy ends up with chaos reigning. If the grieving servants had exercised their own leadership in confronting the first servant, if they had pointed out to him how profoundly unfair his treatment of his fellow servant was, then there might have been a different ending. For Matthew, confrontation is an essential part of forgiveness. The answer to Peter's question is that there is no arithmetical end to forgiveness. For it is the endless duty of Christians to offer clemency. The English clergyman William Secker once argued that clemency is one of the brightest diamonds in the crown of majesty. While there is no hierarchy in God's eyes, Pope Francis insists that mercy is top of the Christian hierarchy of great truths, and everything falls apart when mercy is displaced by anything else. In most contexts, including church communities, circles of sharing are better than pyramids and hierarchies. In Matthew, it is the community of the faithful who are the ultimate court of appeal. Conversation rather than construction, nurturance and empathy rather than competition and climbing will always lead to better outcomes. 10,000 talents is an unimaginable sum of money. Matthew references the amount primarily because the extraordinary large sum underscores the depth of God's mercy disclosed in the work of Jesus. For Matthew, the unforgivable sin in the Christian community is to be unforgiving. Our community here in Scala, one night this last week, we came across a movie called Clemency. Bernadette Williams is a prison warden who over the years has been drifting away from her husband while dutifully carrying out executions in a maximum security prison. When Bernadette strikes up a unique bond with a death row inmate, Anthony Woods, a layer of emotional skin is peeled back, forcing Bernadette to confront the complex and often contradictory relationship between good intentions, unrequited desires, and what it means to be sanctioned to kill. Whether it is striking workers or prisoners, dialogue and respectful engagement always beats hierarchy. The book of Ecclesiasticus tells us that resentment and anger stifle and suffocate. Nursing anger only adds anguish. Matthew tells us, and the movie Clemency affirms, that clemency is a revolutionary measure. H. Jackson Brown, author of the famous Life's Little Instruction book, memorably and helpfully argues that in the confrontation between the stream and the rock, the stream always wins, not through strength, but by perseverance. Amen.